Welcome to Snowy Cake. So my intention this week was to make a beautiful, trendy, polite, tame, white on white cake with white sprinkles and snowballs made out of truffles. And then I changed my mind. We're gonna do an outrageous cake with crazy colors, and we might put some of this on top. I've noticed that on some of the feeds, people are having a hard time watching the tutorials and then copying the cakes. And I wanted to tell you about frosting. I think a lot of the problems that I'm seeing people comment on are about frosting. So what I'll do is I'll set aside my frosting. Once it's done, I'll set aside a little bit because this is one texture, right? So then I'll take powdered sugar and I'll stiffen this half, and then I'll take water, just about a couple tablespoons, and I'll make this half more runny. So I've set some aside, I'm gonna stiffen some, and then I'm gonna make some runny. Now, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this part is perfect for doing my crumb frosting. That's your first coat, okay? And then I'm gonna use this, frost the rest of the cake, and then I'm gonna use this to decorate with because we need it very, very stiff to decorate. Okay, so you want to make sure you always have 3 different kinds of frosting. I finally bought a new set of cake pans. It's a set of 5, which is very nice because then I can take one layer and give it to the family. But look how badly that's tipping. Here we go. It's just tipping because the shape of these is terrible. Oh well, we'll make it work by piping extra icing into all of those edges. Do you remember adding water to that frosting? That's what we're going to use now. This is called the crumb coat. It's the first layer that we add to any cake. We're going to build up a lip to the top. Right there it is. And then we're going to pull it over to the center. Mixing the colors for these was so much fun. What I want you to notice is how casually we do this. We don't mix it all the way. And we leave our bowl dirty so that we can mix some of that fuchsia with the orange. And here we're going to add extra yellow to make it electric green. So here's our blue, and we're going to mix it with some of the green to get an aqua, and then purple. Now let's load up this cake with frosting. I'm taking some care to keep the colors separate because some mixing will happen just when we smooth the icing. Ooh, that looks like sherbet, rainbow sherbet maybe. So next we're going to start dabbing the color onto the sides, still trying to keep it separate. So here's the green, and we're going to do entire areas green. We're not trying to mix it there. We're not trying to swirl it or make a tie-dye effect because when we use the knife to smooth it, it's going to mix those colors together. So here we've got the dabbed on frosting, and we're going to start smoothing the top. But we're going to really keep that to a minimum because we want to keep, the colors separate, the orange, the fuchsia. So here I've gotten the knife very hot, and I'm pushing so hard that I make the cake lopsided. I would try to fix it, but I'm just going to give it away. It's not for sale or meant to be fancy. Look how lopsided. So getting your knife hot in some hot water helps so much. And look how we have that lip on the top. That's just what we want. We're going to pull that to the middle, and now we don't have to put a border on it. I love how these colors turned out. Next, I'm going to break a white chocolate KitKat into pieces because we're going to need it to hold up those fragile white chocolate snowflakes. That'll help them stand up. We'll also put some glue on there, some extra frosting. I'm just using leftover frosting from when we smoothed the sides. Here are the rest of the snowflakes. You always want to make sure to make plenty of extra because some are going to break. In fact, these are melting from the heat of my hand just in the time it takes to go from the waxed paper to the frosting. Oh, I have to hurry. You can make this cake even as a beginner, but you have to follow all of the advice. Water down some of your frosting and use it for the creme coat. Then put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes and let it dry on the outside a little bit. Be sure to not mix your colors all the way because that takes away interest. Also, make sure to use a very hot knife with a little bit of water on it. Whoops, you can see I broke that snowflake and then had to fix it with some frosting, and then I camouflaged it with some decorations. The last two bits of advice are to work with your white chocolate very, very quickly. And most important of all, don't worry about it. You can fix things. Oh, look, see, I had to fix that snowflake because it broke again. And you can cover things up. You can always redo it. It's no problem. And besides, it's cake. It's going to taste great no matter what. See you next time.